Hi all, another update of the Sling TSi build. So I was completing the left wing, so the last step was to put in a connector, a 3-pin connector for the heater control on the pitot tube. So Nick helped me with the connections. So the 5 connections that are pre-built, which goes into the pitot module, and then the 3 that's for the power, ground, and the signal wire to the PFD. So I've kind of connected it all up and cable tied it to the stringer so that it stays tight with still enough slack so that when you have to remove the thing for inspection, it still comes out. And once that was done, I did also check, I clecoed the left fuel tank together and made sure it fits the wing. I don't think, once if both channels, the front and rear channels, the holes line up, it should technically fit the wing perfectly. There shouldn't be any twist, but anyways, it's always good to check. And if there's any misalignment of any of the skins, I still hadn't got the top skin on the main wing, so obviously there's a little gap there, but the fuel tank will overlap that skin anyway when it's on. So it's mainly checking the fitment to the leading edge skin on that wing and how it overlaps, and if the holes align, and it all did quite well. Again, you also have to make sure the rear channel of the fuel tank is also clecoed in place, because that provides a little bit of a twist to get those holes aligned before you do the check on the wing. Again, at this stage, there's nothing is riveted on the gas tank. It's just clecoed in place. I mean, these leading edge skins, leading edge holes are obviously there will not be any sealant there, so that can be done later on. It doesn't need to be done while you're working with that sealant when you've got a 2-hour window to work with. Yeah, once the went through the alignment check, it lines up quite well. And I'd also have to make sure the wing jigs are straight as per the requirement. Both sides of the jigs are level. I think it doesn't make much difference if they're height wise they're not the same, but angle wise they should be level. So I use a digital inclinometer to make sure both sides of the jigs are level. And then it was off to cleco to rivet the fuel tank skin. Again, similar process to the last one, was a lot easier this time. It did all the ones where the sealant is done. So again, ended up using 3 cartridges of the sealant. First one did that bottom channel and the 2 end ribs, and also the where you connect the ribs in between to that front channel, and then the second cartridge was for all the side ones all the way along. The fuel cap, the fuel return valves, all of them have to be sealed from inside, and the drain valve and the overflow, everything. Put loads of sealant on so that it doesn't leak. I think it's best to go overboard with the sealant than have a little bit less. I mean, the second tank comes along much better, and you kind of know how to work with that material. It's a lot easier, and also always wipe clean as quickly as possible, because it's a lot easier to just wipe it off when it is wet. Otherwise you'll have to keep scrubbing. Once at that stage I had to complete the wing and move it out from the shed, so to make space for that, the final step to put the rear channel on the fuel tank. So finished up the wing. I also mounted the flap to check alignment and make sure that clears the tail end of the wing. A few of the rivets on that tail end needs to be trimmed a little bit to make sure that the flap doesn't interfere with the rear wing when it is in the retracted position. And again, before clecoing or before riveting, I put in a cleco in every other or almost every other hole and put rivets in the so that they are aligned. Mainly the front spar and the rear spar are put in first, and then all the ribs in between and the stringers really doesn't matter, you can easily push them, pull that into place. Again, make sure both the wing jigs are level while doing this process, because once you've done riveted up the top skin, then that's when you have to set the angle of that washout on the wing. Yeah, and once that was fully done, moved that into the house, into the wing stand, and tried to secure it a little bit so that it's hopefully won't have any damage while it's being stored there. That's one of the flaps on the floor there, again packed up quite well. Both flaps seem to fit quite well. There seems to be no interference as such. On the right one on the left one there was a little bit, which I did tidied up that trailing edge of the wing. A couple of rivets I had to grind a little bit off to make sure the flap clears that. Yeah, the wing stand was I think it's quite stable now, with even with both wings, and the center section houses the horizontal stabilizer and the elevator. I've still got the rudder and the vertical stabilizer in the shed, which I need to finish and move out. Yeah, I think so. Only thing to be left to be done on this is to put the wing tips on, and probably that adds quite a bit of length, so I'll only do it just before I have to take it to paint. And also have to fill in these rivet holes with the filler. I've ordered that, I'm waiting for that to arrive. So yeah, that's pretty much it now on the wings. I've protected the pitot tube. I need to try and get a cover for that as well, to be used when it's all ready to fly. Once the wings were out, there was enough space in the shed now to get back and finish that tank, which we did this weekend, and a bit of help from Nick, who helped me with that last stage of that process. It really helps if you got a spare pair of hands because there's a lot going on when you're trying to seal, apply the sealant, insert the rivets, pull them, clean up afterwards, all of that. So it came along quite well, because Nick also helped with the right tank, so we knew what we were doing when we had to do this one. I think the only thing left for me to do is to put the drain valve. I still haven't inserted the valve in it, the hardware board, there are still a few bits to be done. I think the springs which came with the hardware, I think that's for the landing lights and taxi lights to adjust their angles. I have a few other rivets left over, but pretty much most of it is used up, and obviously the aileron still to do. I'm waiting for that rib from the factory still, so I think that's the last step from the wing section.